Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I actually wanted to show you guys how to use Excel to analyze some data on certain stocks. So right here, I'm going to show you guys how we're going to analyze the SPY S&P 500 ETF. So I'm on Yahoo Finance right now, and I clicked on this historical data tab. And right here, I'm looking at the time period for January 2nd, 2022 to March 4th, 2022. So basically, since the new year. Now, what I'm going to do is I hit that apply, and then once it sorts this data out, I'm going to click download. And we're going to go ahead and open this tab. And it's going to take us straight to Excel. And you see that we have all this data. So I'm just cleaning up this data real quick. And I don't really like how it's in this format. So I'm just going to extend that out. You can see we have this nice data with the dates, the open, the high, the low, the close, adjusted close, and volume. So next thing I'm going to do, Control Shift, right down. And then we're going to do Insert. We're going to insert a pivot table. And then we're going to insert it into a new worksheet. So now what I'm going to do next is I want to put the dates in the rows. And then I want to put the open and values. Then I want to pick the close, then the volume, and then I want to put another instance of close right here. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to get this the dates, and then we're going to ungroup them. So now we can see each day on its own. And I'm just going to clean up this data a little bit. I don't really like how it's this many decimal points. Oops. We're going to just take this to the cents. And then volume, I want to have this in comma format. Take out the decimals. And right here in the design, I want to get rid of this grand total bar. So off on rows and columns. And then I want to get rid of the sum, make the data a little bit more organized. Now let's just go ahead and center this. Now what I want to do next is I actually want to create a whole new column right here eventually, but first I want to calculate the difference from the prior close. So what we're going to do here, we're going to highlight this whole column. We're going to do show values as, and we're going to do percent difference from. We're going to do date, and then we're going to do previous date. Then extend this out a little bit. Now I'm going to call this tab percent diff prior day, prior close. How about that? We're just going to wrap the text, make it a little bit more readable. And then now I want to do one more thing. I want to do a calculated field. So the way I'm going to do that, if I remember correctly, I'm going to go to this pivot table analyze. I'm going to look at field, items, and sets. I'm going to do calculated field. And I want to call this new field, let's call it difference open to close. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do closing price minus the open price. So now we got this, but I want this in a percentage. So I want this to reflect a percentage from the open price. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit this calculated field again. Now I want to call this percentage difference open to close. Then our calculation is going to be difference open to close divided by open. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide this whole tab because this was just a step that I needed to get this column right here, but I don't really want to see this tab right here. So I'm going to hide that. And then now I'm going to format this in a percentage. Then you might be wondering, why are we doing all of this? So just hang in with me and I'll explain why we're doing all this. But first, I need to format this nicely so you guys can all see. So I'm going to wrap the text again. And then now we are going to do conditional formatting here. So anything that's greater than 0, I want it to be green. Anything that is less than 0, I want it to be red. We're going to do that right here again too. I probably should have just done this for both, but this way you could get more practice. So greater than 0, we're going to have this be green. Then less than 0, we're going to have it be red. Okay, so what does this data actually tell us? So this difference from prior close is letting us know what the actual difference was from this close right here on the 3rd to this close right here on the 4th. So this right here was a 0.03% difference on SPY. So actually, just so you know, let's just label this SPY. Make it bold. So this is SPY. It's following the S&P 500 ETF. And then right here, as you can see, this is 1.92% difference from the prior close. So from the 4th to the 5th. So this is what this data is telling us. Now, let's just actually format this a little bit better. So percent different open to close. Oops. So percent different open to close is actually just telling us what the percentage was from the open to the close. So just the fluctuation. So here on the 3rd, we opened at 476.3. We closed at 477.71. That's basically saying that we opened to close and we gained 0.3%. And then just another example right here. We opened at 477.16. We closed at 468.38. So we fell 1.84%. So this is the way that we can analyze this. So we could look at this. This is about, let's see, that's January, February, and March. So it's a little bit over 2 months of data. So what this is going to let us know is how our day fluctuation is. So as you can see, from where we open to where we close, most of this is hanging around 1 to 2%. So we've definitely had one day right here. This was on the 28th, where we had a 2.14% green day. And then when we scroll down a little bit more, there's definitely an outlier right here. So we can see on February 24th, we actually went from open to close 4.2%. So that's a pretty massive move. And then from the previous close, just one close to the next, we barely had any days where we closed over 2%. So you can see right here, let's see, we have this green day right here on January 28th, where we closed 2.48% above from the prior day. And right here, we closed 2.35% below from the prior day close. So what this data is telling us is that from the prior close, we're mostly within this 1 to 2% range. So you could expect on the day that it's very unlikely that SPY is going to fall 3%. If it falls 3% or over, you could consider that an outlier to our data. And then right here, the percent open to close, we can see that most of this is hanging around less than 1% just from eyeballing. So this is a good way that you can actually tell um, how our fluctuations are within the last 2 months. Now, obviously, you could get the accumulation of this data and you can do an average, and that will give you an average of how much we will fall up or down or whatever. So this is just some ways to use Excel, and I hope you guys enjoy this short tutorial here.